What's up, guys? Welcome back to.
What's up, everybody?
I love, I love
It's
that
your
like
boy.
classic YouTuber, classic YouTuber start. What's up, guys? Welcome back. No, but
What
welcome
happened
back
to
to.
well?
Oh my god, can't do that much longer. This is episode 3 of the 30-something podcast with Tanya, me, and.
And Sasha, me. Sorry, it's just there's a lag.
Okay, we'll see if we can make do. We've just had a frustrating hour and a bit trying to sort out some technical issues, so we're gonna try
Yeah,
and lift
it
spirits now.
it took me an hour and 5 minutes to get onto this. I've got a setup here with my laptop off to the side because it's connected to the microphone, and my laptop is about 8 years old or 9 years old, and it just takes literally 7 minutes to open a window. So
Ain't nobody got time for that. That is crazy. That's like my biggest pet peeve is slow computers. Like, you've got one job. Just do the thing that I'm asking you to do. That is literally your job. To take an hour to join is crazy. But here we are. Miracles happen. And we've got quite a fun and light-hearted topic today, don't we, Sal?
yeah, it actually is kind of related. I need a new laptop as part of my spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning for the soul,
As
specifically.
part
Not
of my
just spring cleaning.
spring cleaning for the soul, because my soul feels horrible right now.
Yeah, it's not good for the
After
soul.
that, really bad.
So yeah, this will be a fun one. We're obviously speaking to you from the past, a few weeks, I suppose. It is like I could just about say we're beginning spring here in Portugal because flowers are blooming. However, I'm not sure it is officially spring, but by the time this airs, it will be well into spring, I believe. So we're hoping that this is a timely, helpful, and fun conversation that is appropriate to you, listener, right now. Unless you're listening to this like way into the future, in which case bookmark it for next year.
What? No, listen to it now.
Yeah, she's right. Listen to it now.
Don't go
And
away.
as usual, not well. Yeah, like people might only discover us in a few months' time and then listen back to old episodes. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
In which case, hello from very far in the past. We hope the future's looking bright.
Yeah, how's the world over there? What?
As usual.
What did I mean to say?
How's the world where you are?
How are things going over in that time? Go on. You talk. I'm just gonna...
As usual, give us a subscribe, a follow, a comment, a like, a share, a bit of feedback, and a review. 5 stars only, please. Let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
Great. So when we first started preparing to put together this podcast, it was kind of in the new year. And at the time I was like, oh, wouldn't it have been fun if we could do some kind of New Year's resolution episode? But I once heard someone say that it's really odd that we do resolutions in the new year and not in spring, when it's a bit more of like a natural restart. And I really liked that point of view. And to be honest, I've noticed as I get older that spring for me is quite a special time where I have a lot of energy for new things and new ideas and stuff like that. So, so spring cleaning for the soul is what we're doing. And so I think like during spring, it kind of makes sense to start afresh in many ways. Firstly, you've got the daylight coming back and all the sunlight coming back, which means boosted serotonin, which means better mood and better motivation. We're all coming out of our seasonal affective disorders and whatnot from the winter, at least if you're
Depending
in the
on where you
northern
live.
hemisphere. Precisely. If you live in a totally different place, this whole episode is not relevant to you. Just leave.
But don't go away anyway. Just, no, listen. Listen to this now.
Yeah, and so I think spring is a really good time to really make use of that extra energy. And you could argue, well, in the summer you've got the daylight and the sun too. Yes, you do, but often you have the heat, which means lower productivity. You are often jam packed full of plans and social events and weddings and whatever, if you're in the phase of life that we're in. And so it becomes a bit difficult to like build routine and, you know, get stuck into projects and stuff. So, you know, spring is kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think New Year obviously makes sense, but then spring makes sense too. Because to make your resolutions in the New Year, it's like the darkest time of the year. It's just after Christmas. You're feeling pretty low. So the resolutions you're going to make are, I mean, one, you're likely going to make different kinds of resolutions because you're like, I feel so bad. What's going to make me feel a little better? Or you can't follow through because you're, you know, in the middle of winter and it's really difficult.
Yeah, and your body's
So
like really in
springtime.
hibernation mode still.
Yeah, so springtime
As it
makes
should
sense.
be.
Not only because you have energy and it feels new, but it's like actually maybe you can make different resolutions, like more hopeful resolutions, more fun resolutions, and then actually, yeah, follow through.
I like that. And it's also so important, like when you do make a resolution, to kind of hit the ground running and stick to your commitment early is really good for future success. Because if you make a resolution on the 1st of Jan and you find it really difficult to do and you're kind of like being a bit flaky or whatever, long term you may struggle.
Yeah. Did you make any
That's
resolutions this year?
No.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, go on.
I'm sure I made more than one, but I can only think of one. It was a project that I wanted to try, like a side hustle, and I've done it. I'm trying it. So, yeah, that's going well.
Very good. Yeah, I remember someone
I'm
asking
sure
me.
there was something else, but I didn't write them down, which is really dumb.
Well, see, here's the problem. You gotta write
What?
them down.
Okay.
I wasn't quite sure where I was going with that.
So
But actually,
sage.
I remember someone asking me about my New Year's resolution at New Year, and I remember saying something like, "I don't have any because I feel like everything is now headed in the right direction. I've just got to keep going and like go with the flow." So that was my intention, but it wasn't a resolution. Yeah. Did you want to say anything, Sa, about reevaluating your priorities? Hint, hint, looking at our notes.
Oh, okay. Well, so the idea is spring cleaning for the soul. So wait. So are we just like gonna go point by point and not even like with a segue?
Not necessarily, but it's,
Okay. All right.
we have an
Point
agenda
two,
so
everybody.
that we can...
Point two is titled
reevaluate things you've been prioritizing, brackets, relationship-wise, financially, time, brackets.
Okay. So, yeah, it's related to resolutions. It's related to like springtime, spring cleaning for the soul. I mean, spring cleaning for the soul is really about resolutions and reprioritizing, isn't it? Spring
Kind
cleaning
of.
for the soul. We're kind of saying it like it's a thing. It's not a thing. We're just talking about it as if it's a thing. Okay, so I think it's obviously important to reprioritize the things that you're doing regularly. Like, I would say more than once a year. I think a lot of people, like, whatever it is, maybe they set themselves career goals, or they say, oh, I really need to prioritize this thing, and they do it, and then they probably do it for so long that it becomes their habit, and they don't even realize that they don't need to prioritize that thing anymore, and they need to prioritize something else.
Mm. They've convinced themselves it's a priority and they've held on to that for months. And it's like, wait, is it still?
Yeah, yeah. So, like, I think I find myself reprioritizing these days. Financially, for example, trying to save money. I mean, it's going slow, guys, slow. But I'm trying, which I mean, I've been trying for, like, I'd say like a year and a half or something. Before, I never even thought about I never kept track of my bank account. I didn't know where my money was going. I just spent it. I just made it and spent it. And, like, I was really irresponsible that way. About a year and a half ago, I became more in control, trying to understand where everything's going, blah, blah, blah. And now I've come to a point where I'm actually saving up money. So I guess is that reprioritizing? I mean, slowly over time, yeah, that's reprioritizing. But it might be that you're used to, like, saving up money on certain things. You have certain habits, money saving habits or money spending habits, and then you're like, well, actually, I want to go to the theater more. Then you gotta give it a little
Where you
jig.
spend your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also might come, whether it's at the end of the year or whenever, you might come to a point where you're like, I'm spending loads of time with this friend, and I haven't seen that other friend for like 2 months or 6 months. Maybe I need to shift my energy a little bit. Or if you have extra
Yeah.
energy, use your extra energy.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Use that serotonin. Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
your
know.
money's your
Was that a good
resource, your
point?
energy is your resource. Well, it's relevant all year round for sure. And I think if you want to do something resembling a spring cleaning for the soul, it's also the perfect time to be reevaluating your priorities.
Yeah. Think about, what is it that I'm actually spending most of my time on? And is that where I actually am now, who I am now, and who I want to be for the next whatever year, season?
Yeah. Does the shoe still fit, as they say in the industry?
Mm-hmm. In the shoe industry. They say that all the time.
Oh my god, they can't stop saying that. Not to be too obvious with this, too on the nose, but also literally cleaning, particularly decluttering. I'm not really going to talk about cleaning, like just clean your house. What can I say? But decluttering.
I want to talk about it.
Oh,
I have a
okay. Let's
dream.
go. Oh,
Okay. I have one big dream, which is to have a dog. But I also have
yes.
a tiny little dream, which is to have a robot vacuum. And I've had
We
this
have one.
dream for years. What? You have one?
Yeah, we have one.
Since when?
I bought it for mommy for Christmas, like 2 years ago. 2 years?
What?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Do you want me to give you a review of the robot vacuum?
Okay, go.
Here's the thing. We live in quite a large house at the moment here in the middle of nowhere in Portugal, and my mom hates vacuuming, and to be honest, I do too.
Me too. It's the worst one. The worst
It's
chore.
the worst. It's like such a workout. It's like so clunky. Oh my god.
Yeah, actually, let me get started on this.
Okay, let's
You're
get into it.
bent over. You're hunched over, walking around the house. Like, that's
Even
already
that
that's so hard.
without
Exactly.
having to carry like
And
a 5 kilo
yeah,
machine.
you're carrying or dragging, and then it gets stuck on things, even floorboards or whatever, and you're just like, and you're
Yeah.
sweating, and
And the
everyone's like,
wire, the like
yeah,
gets
Nobody
yanked out of the wall because you've
understands
gone too
this.
far.
Whenever I start ranting about this, everyone starts laughing. It's like, do you not experience this?
I do. I hate it. And not only that, but it's so noisy, and I'm really sensitive to noise. And it's just like the most overwhelming experience ever to vacuum the house. This is privilege for you.
Yeah.
Especially getting a vacuum robot. That's the next level. But here we are. My review of it is it is somewhat effective at vacuuming. What it's good
What?
for,
Isn't
though,
that its one's job?
exactly. So, like, that's a bit of a bad review. It's somewhat effective at vacuuming. Like, it's not good at getting the corners and things like that. It's great because it will cover as much as it can in the room, but like getting the corners is not its forte. But it's good to, like, if you use it regularly, you maintain the level of dust to the point where it never gets that bad.
Mm.
Because dust like spreads around, you know? So if you get
Okay.
most of the room's dust regularly, you're in a pretty good position. You just got to like take out the filter often and, you know, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I've heard similar reviews.
yeah. So I would give it like, depending on like your size of house. If you live in a pretty big house, I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Worth it. If you live in a small house and it's like cluttered, I would give it like a 3 or a 4 out of 10.
Okay, great. How about handheld? No, I'm joking.
Wow,
We
talk
can
about
move on.
hunched over. Okay, so that was a really important detour. You're
Yes,
welcome.
thoughts on cleaning.
Yeah. Hot off the press.
Yeah.
Decluttering. So I am the kind of person that hates clutter, but to be fair, I'm not the best at managing clutter. I have gotten much better over the years, and it's been a bit of a life changer, I think, like all the decluttering I've done in the last like couple years or so. I've had a bit of an odd living situation for the last 2 years, and mostly been living out of maybe like 2 suitcase worth of stuff. And it's been so refreshing to have so much space and to have so little things to think about in your environment. Most of it's clothes because I like clothes. And like that's it. Clothes, a little bit of jewelry, makeup, a few documents, a couple books, electronics, shoes. That's it.
Yeah, I enjoyed living out of one suitcase too when I did it for a while.
Yeah, I'm a bit out of breath because I ran upstairs and came back down.
What? When did you do that?
It's magic. You never saw me. Yeah, like what I noticed, you know, when I don't have much stuff around me is that they all feel more valuable. And if I'm in a space where I have so much stuff, like it all just feels worthless. And like I would have a tendency to mistreat my things more when I have stuff. So decluttering, do it, man. Do it. If you've got some energy, just like do it. Get a friend around so that they can just, they might not want to help you, but they can sit there and chat crap with you while you do your decluttering. And in particular, that underwear, where's the camera? There it is. That underwear and the pair of socks that have been sitting in your drawer that you have not used for over a year, and I know you have them. You don't need them in there. You really don't. And you're better than that. If you're listening to this, you're probably an adult, okay? You are worth more than that. You don't need to hold on to those things that are like hanging on literally by a thread.
I'm scared.
It is the kind of burden. It is the kind of burden your soul doesn't need. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Do you get me? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, totally. No, I get you. It's just weird with you staring into the camera like that.
I
Yeah,
really had to get my
totally.
point across there.
I have this set of underwear that I bought that are really nice, but a size too big. So I've just kept them, even though I never wear them, because when I wear them, they turn into nappies.
Oh, you are just
But I'm
waiting
like,
to
but
gain
they're
weight.
so cute. Yeah, maybe I'll gain some weight. Ah, that's a solution.
And it's not the kind of thing that you can like give to friends.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
like, hey, look at this cute underwear. You want them? Speaking of underwear, I have this pair of underwear that I've had since, oh God, maybe 14 years old. Okay. And it's not, I never wear them, but it has sentimental value because they were my best friends. And I actually can't remember, I can't remember how it came into my possession, but they're like classically corny in that they're like hot pink thong with like leopard print on it and a little bow. They're awful. And if you're watching this, best friend, I wonder if you'll remember. But I hold on to them because they were hers, and
Mm.
I never wear them. But they're
Well, then
sentimental.
maybe
Maybe I'll
they
just
shouldn't
frame it.
even be in your underwear drawer. They should be in your, like, birthday card box or whatever you. I don't know what you've got.
Yeah, like framed or like.
Next time you're going through the box, you're like looking through old family photos. Oh, look at grandma and grandpa and
Oh, how
this
nice.
leopard print thong.
Yeah. And speaking of cards, this is the other little tip I want to give, okay? Because I used to be the kind of person that held on to cards and just like really struggled to throw them away. Even ones that are like the most generic thing ever and just says, Dear Tanya, happy birthday, lots of love, but you don't need them. I'm gonna tell you because I know you need someone to tell you. You don't need them. The gesture is complete once it's been given to you. Even if you immediately throw it away, it's okay. No one's going to be mad. You're not going to miss it. I promise you. Unless there's something really special and sentimental in there. But I promise you, you're not going to miss it. If you have a hard time throwing away cards, take a photo. And if you find yourself taking a photo of a card that says, Dear Tanya, happy birthday, lots of love, and you realize how stupid that is, you'll then realize you can just throw it away and you don't even need the photo either. Right?
What about if you like just cut out the bit that says love from blah 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 and you just keep the love?
Cute idea. Yeah, it's a suggestion. Seems a bit high effort to me, but it's a cute suggestion.
I have a lot of cards. I have a box full of cards and photos. But I've already been through them, like, because I moved recently. So
Yeah.
I only kept the ones that, I don't know, said I was the best person in the world or something. So it's stuff I want to see again.
Those ones you should keep. Yeah, those you should keep for sure. You need evidence that someone believed that once upon a time.
Yeah. I'm not going to get those anymore.
No, but I've gotten really good at letting go of stuff because we've moved around so much. Not only have we moved countries a bunch, but I think this house I'm in must be like the 19th abode I've ever inhabited. And that's pretty crazy for someone who's 30.
Yeah.
So when you move, every time you have to go through the process of letting half your stuff go, and you're like, I don't know why I've kept this. That eventually you're just so well practiced that you learn to absorb the stuff sentimentally in your heart, but let go of the actual stuff because it doesn't serve you, the clutter.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, I think, like, it's easy to underestimate how much effect clutter has on you. Like, loads of people, they just, like, have clutter all around them and they don't even notice it. But if it was less clutter, do you realize how peaceful your mind would be? Just the visual clutter, it's constantly taking your attention. Like now it's quite hard to like look at the camera and not look at all these things that are around me in my room. My room is actually like I wouldn't say minimalist, but I haven't got clutter. I've just got a lot of decoration. But like things, pretty, ugly, whatever things are always going to take your attention for like a millisecond. Imagine
Yeah.
half of that gone. Your brain's so free to do stuff.
Yeah. To do stuff.
Yeah.
Even if you had it in a cupboard or in a drawer, great.
Yeah.
Like you just don't want to look at it all. I don't want to look at it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much one of those people that like clear space, clear head. So yeah. And did you want to talk about clothes?
I do want to talk about clothes. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Clothes. Why? Why on earth don't you invest more money in your work clothes? Think about it. We spend like 75% of our waking time wearing our work clothes. Okay, you work from home, so you can't relate to this, but people listening
So it's
to
only
me
work tops for
who
me.
go to work. Yeah. People who are listening who go to work, how much of your time do you spend in your work clothes? Do you like them? How
Do
many
you?
work clothes do you have?
How many?
Do you?
Do you?
And then when you're not in your work clothes, you're probably in your PJs. Do you like your PJs, or are they just like these scrappy old t-shirts and boxers or something that you've had for 10 years that aren't even soft anymore?
Now that's a point. The
Yeah.
second one. The first one is also a point, but I like that second one. Like, are your PJs really up to par? Are
Yeah,
they
you deserve the
comfortable?
best PJs. Same
Yeah.
with bed sheets, but let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's focus on clothes. We have so many like jeans and we want to look cool. We have so many like whatever, whatever, whatever. But you probably only wear one jacket and you probably wear one pair of jeans per weekend. You know? Like, why
One
are we
jacket, I
wasting
think,
so much?
is a bit not
Most
true.
of the time, you probably go for the same jacket. That's
Yeah,
my habit anyway.
you got like a
In
spring
winter.
summer jacket and probably an autumn one, and then like dead of winter one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like at any
Oh,
time, you
okay,
probably
yeah,
only need one, usually.
yeah,
But we
something
take
like
up
that.
so much space in our homes with all these clothes. Okay, that's great. But then, like, what about the priority? The priority is the clothes that you spend the most time on, surely. The time in
Yeah,
your work clothes and your PJs. Get nice ones.
yeah, and like get the work clothes thing. It's like it's really easy to just buy clothes that you think are appropriate for work, even
Mm-hmm.
if you don't
Like
particularly
them.
like them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
as you say, I mean, I guess that was exactly your point. Invest in thinking about, okay, how can I buy work clothes that I like, that feels like me, that are good quality or brightens up my day or whatever. Yeah, I like that.
And PJs.
Point well
I
made.
bought I bought a pair of PJs recently that are so soft and cute. They're dark green with stripes.
Oh yeah,
They're just they're
TK
so
Maxx.
nice. And I just want to wear them every time. Like I wash them and then I immediately wear them again. Like they're those ones. And then the other PJs
Nice,
are just have fallen to the wayside as they deserve to.
because they're like 15 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You get to an age, and it's probably about 30 for me, where you realize, there's some like essentials where you really don't need to compromise anymore. You deserve better. Get serious about your essentials, people. Moving on to point number, I don't know what point we're on. But one thing I wanted to say is a fun thing to think about during spring is to think about the company that you keep, but particularly have a think about whether there are people that you know that you're drawn to in some way. It may be that they inspire you, or you thought you'd always be friends but you never had a chance, or whatever, as a friend of a friend that you met that you get on well with but haven't seen them again. Why not reach out to them?
Yeah, bring them into your life.
Bring them in. Find a way to develop those. Maybe pick 3 to give you something actionable. Try to think of 3 people that you're really drawn to, and in an ideal world, you'd have a better relationship. with or closer relationship, make a move, invite them to something, send a message, say, hey, what you're doing is really cool. I'd love to find out more, whatever. Because I think sometimes when we do feel drawn to people, it's for a good reason, and your instinct is probably right with it. And so if you do have a chance to bring them into your life, there's probably a lot of good that can come of it. So I think spring is a great time to invest. Thoughts? Feelings?
Thoughts. Feelings. Feelings, no. Thoughts. Well, the thing that comes to me is like, I'm thinking about the other side of the coin as well. Like, there's probably someone in your life that you've been reaching out to, that you've been trying to bring in, that you've been investing in, who's not putting in the same effort. Maybe they need to be cleaned out, you know? Try. See, they might reach out to you if once it's gone a certain period of time that's their limit, and they're like, oh, I miss Tanya. I'll reach out to her. And maybe it's longer than your limit, and that was it. Or maybe they really just weren't interested in the first place, and you'll never hear from them again. Sayonara.
Yeah. In the kindest of ways. Respectfully, sayonara. No, but it's true. It's like you only really have so much capacity for your circle, I suppose. And if you're drawn to bring in other people, it's also a good reason to try and make space for them, whatever that looks like. And if there's a good reason to, and if that feels right to you, if necessary, yeah. So start whenever you want.
Okay. That's not to say that you should just be replacing all your friends every year. Like, the older the friend, the more I need to get rid of them.
Time's up.
Yeah, out with the old, in with the new every single spring. No, but
Yeah.
just
Totally. I was gonna say, like, I noticed for me, I've reached out to a few people. I've made an effort to reach out to a few people from, my past or wherever, just because I have time, firstly, and because I just wanted to take that initiative that we were just talking about. Like, okay, just try and attract the people you want in your life. And funnily enough, at the same time, some other people, totally separate, have reached out to me in quite like a surprising, serendipitous way. Like people that, I might have gone to school with years ago, and we have never spoken to each other since, but have each other on socials and whatever. I've reached out, and a few times now, there's been some like funny coincidence where we've got like something really in common right now, or like we've got a similar goal and we're able to help each other out. Like a couple people I've met like had similar like career visions, and we've tried to see like how we can help each other in the process. And it's just been like really serendipitous the way they've reached out to me. They wouldn't have known that I have the career goals that I have now, for example, and it's just happened. So I feel like something's happening where I'm putting out that energy, and therefore it's coming back to me. So I'm very grateful for that.
Do you believe in that?
I don't really believe in it in the like magical way some people believe in it, but I definitely think that if you're focusing on things and trying to make certain things happen for you, you are more likely to notice the opportunities that align with it that might arise for you. And therefore, you are able to take the opportunity. And also, like, if you're putting out an energy into your community or whatever, people will pick up on that and probably engage with you based on that energy. And therefore, you are attracting energy that you want. So I think in a very practical way, yeah, I do believe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of talking about manifestation. That's like a whole thing we could go into. And to be honest, I don't know very much about it. But yeah, I do believe that what you put out comes back to you. to some extent.
Okay, point number 5-ish.
Yeah, I had a point about, and this is like quite an easy thing to do, but I think could have quite a large impact, which is to make an effort in this period of time to unfollow or unsubscribe or mute
Your friends.
profiles and content. Yeah.
The older, the better.
No, it's like to mute profiles or like content or whatever that you find like brings you down or like doesn't really add value to your life. And that doesn't mean scrolling through your follower list and like literally doing an audit and a cleanup, because that sounds like hell. But just keep an eye out, as you're scrolling or whatever. If you cross something, you're like, oh yeah, I'm still following this person. And like, I don't really enjoy their content, or like what they're putting out is really negative. Just, just a quick click unfollow.
Yeah, this is, I totally agree with you. And this reminds me of something that I always did, which isn't really relevant now, but with Facebook, this is something I always did, and you always thought it was really mean. But Facebook tells you.
Always? Or 10 years ago, I thought it was mean.
Yeah, you always, like at the time when it was happening. Now we don't use Facebook, but Facebook tells you whose birthday it is every day. And it was my policy to use that notification as a, like, do you still want to be friends with this person? So I would unfollow people on their birthday.
Yeah.
Every day I'd get a
At
new
the
one.
surface, that does feel quite mean, but very, very practical.
Very practical, because I don't.
It's like, oh, it's this person's birthday. See ya.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't like to like have loads of it wasn't a thing for me to like have loads of friends on Facebook. I just wanted the friends that I wanted, and so I sometimes would like go through my friend list and delete people. And then I remembered this was like when I was a teenager. I would write a status saying, "Congratulations, everybody, you weren't deleted," or something like that. But then I was like, why do I have to do like such a why do I have to do such a like long job of this? Just every day I get a notification, unfriend, happy birthday, unfriend.
Yeah.
That's how I did it for years. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
Totally. Yeah, I noticed, like, I fairly recently started a public Instagram account just to post like creative stuff like music and whatever. And, I told myself, I'm basically just gonna follow like creatives and like people that inspire me. And so that's basically it. And I have a lot more fun scrolling on that account now than I do on my personal account. And that's no dig to my friends. It's just that my personal account, I've accumulated so much crap over the years. And my public one is just filled with like things that are genuinely inspiring or fun and creative to watch. And it really, like, I don't like scrolling anyway. Like, it doesn't put me in the best mood, but it's definitely better if the content I'm consuming is feeding me in some way. So I think it's a wise policy, during spring, maybe just spend a month just really keeping a lookout and look out for who you can unsubscribe. Just press that little button. And
Sayonara.
it will make your sayonara, and it will help clear the subconscious, all this crap that goes into your subconscious as a result of your scrolling.
Yeah, but to be honest,
make it a little bit healthier.
Do you want any of it?
Yeah. Well,
can you hear my stomach rumbling, by the way?
No, I can't.
Okay, good.
Unfortunately. Side note, I use an app called Opal. I've used it for the last couple weeks or so, and it basically blocks me using particular apps. For me, it's like all my socials. It blocks me from using it until 5 p.m. And it's been honestly a life changer, because because it hasn't taken anything from my life. It's just giving me time and focus. And I find that, if I'm scrolling first thing in the morning, that dopamine hit is really affecting me for the rest of the day because my brain is then expecting that level of dopamine for the rest of the day. That's a thing, by the way. So if you really manage the dopamine levels you generate early, and for me, it's until 5 p.m., at least on the social front, like my energy just feels a lot better, my energy and my focus. And it's just really nice to know, like, I'm not missing it at all. And it's not actually taken anything from my life.
Yeah, that
So I
actually,
would recommend.
I finally remember my other resolution. The more important one actually was to
Go on.
solve my phone addiction or to find a way to help with the phone addiction. And so I downloaded an app as well. It's called One Sec. Let me say that again. One Sec. Sorry, I didn't say that clearly. So it's an app that like when you open your social media app or whatever you set it for, it doesn't let you open it at first, and it tells you maybe take a breath, or it can actually tell you anything you want. And then it'll make you wait. And by the time you've waited, like mine, it goes for like 20 seconds or something. But by the time I've waited, like I really don't want to open Facebook anymore or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like it's just an impulsivity blocker.
Yeah.
It's only if I am actually going to that app to get something or to reply to a message, then I'll bother waiting, but most of the time I won't. So it's actually really helped me as well. Like most of the time I'm just
Yeah.
I know that I'll have to
Yeah.
wait,
Isn't it
so I don't
funny? Like,
bother.
how often do you notice, like, say you're scrolling on Instagram and you decide to go off it, so you like literally close it, and the next second you open it again and you're like, wait, I thought I just closed this. Like, why has my thumb just done that? It's so sick. It's so sick. And just giving you those few seconds to be like, is this really what you want? I think it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
Like,
really
even with
good.
the app I use, Opal, like, I can access my stuff before 5 p.m., but I have to go through like a bunch of loops, and then it says, okay, wait, like, breathe. Do you still want to do this? Like, it's just a whole bunch of hoop jumping, and like, obviously
Oh,
not.
okay, so yours is just
I
mine but
don't
with
want to do it.
extra.
Yeah, I suppose. Like, if I just try to open Instagram before 5, it just says restricted, and I say, oh, okay, and then I have to open Opal and try to like temporarily unblock it, and then it asks me all these questions, and it's just,
This podcast is sponsored by Opal and OneSec.
it's not.
It's not. No.
But maybe one day. I feel like we have to say it's not, just like legally, because everyone's going to be out to get us. Okay, the one of the last things I wanted to raise on this topic of spring cleaning for the soul is, if you're a journaler, even if you're not a journaler, I want to offer a fun exercise, and I've done kind of versions of this before. And it's a kind of exercise that's supposed to help you reset your frame of mind for the following year. And it goes like this. So write a few bullets describing what you want your life to look like this time next year in an ideal world. Try to keep it realistic, but also in an ideal world. Now, just take a minute to like visualize being that person that has all those things, that have achieved all the things you wanted to, and write a letter to yourself now that is encouraging you for the following year, with the knowing that you already have what it is that you wanted to achieve. And I hope it's helpful and fun. I feel like sometimes, giving yourself advice in the moment is hard to listen to, but if you try and like separate, try to come at it from a different perspective, even though it's still you in this case, but it's a different perspective in time,
Yeah.
it can just really help reframe
Yeah.
the way you're looking at the challenges that you're facing, or like the fears that you have, or yeah.
And then you're approaching those goals as if they've already been achieved, so they're totally
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. So the advice you give is like, oh, you just need to do this, and this in this way, or like manage your fear in this way, or Those are very vague examples, but yeah, you're coming at it with a bit of self belief. So if that sounds fun and interesting to you, and if you want to let us know what it is that you're thinking of in the comments, I would love to see where it is you want to be next year. You can sort of write it out as a bit of an accountability exercise if you'd like. Yeah. Shall I move on to my final point on this?
Point number final.
Basically, this isn't really much of a point, I suppose, but like, I think in spring, there's a lot of this natural creative energy. I find that it's a really good time to start laying foundations for new projects you want to start, new projects or new hobbies, or even if it's like window shopping for new jobs or career changes. You don't actually have to want to leave your job, but just using the creative juice to start reflecting on changes that you might want to birth sometime in the future. Now is a really great time for that. Start planting the seeds, basically. Plant the seeds. And some seeds don't grow, and that's okay. Some seeds will, but now's the time to plant.
Like what?
And then in the summer, you can harvest. Like what seeds?
Yeah. What do you
Habits.
do? You just mean
Or,
like start your projects now? Is that what you mean?
kind of. It's like plant the seeds for new habits or new changes or new projects. Yeah. Like, some people have these like projects they've got in the back of their mind. It's like, oh, one day I want to start a podcast like we have. And I'm just saying, spring is a good time to invest some of your energy into that. Because it's summer, you're going to get busy, you're going to get hot, you're going to want to lie down. And then it's autumn, and your body starts preparing for hibernation, where it's like, I'm not going to do anything but just huddle up with my friends and my family and eat food. That's natural. It's spring, man. Spring's the time. Invest. Not everything will come to fruition, but yeah, as I say, plant the seeds and something will grow and you can harvest later.
Yep. I mean, makes sense naturally, makes sense mentally.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, we have gone on for quite a while, but I think we have a little bit of time to do our first segment, I suppose, for a little bit. And it is, do you want to talk about it, Sarah, shall I?
We're gonna ask each other maybe one question each from the and cards, which come from a YouTube channel, The Skin Deep, that I guess we both follow and we've seen videos of. You've probably seen them as well. People come in who know each other, who have certain relationships, and they use these cards to kind of interview each other about their relationship. And they're nice videos, and hopefully it'll make a nice video for us. Let's go.
Yeah, so these are cards that are designed for friends. So let's go. I'm going to show you to the camera. I think I actually don't know if we're supposed to both answer. No, I think let's both answer. Okay, here's the first question. Do you want to read it out loud?
15 years from now, how do you think our relationship will change?
15 years. Okay, 45. Well, I hope that it will have changed in the sense that, like, you and I, or just one of us, or maybe none of us, just one of us might have kids. And so the other one will be there in an auntie capacity.
Not
I think
it.
that will change our relationship slightly. Yeah, I know. When I said both, I was immediately like, okay, Sasha doesn't want kids. But yeah, like maybe you were around in an auntie capacity.
Yeah, that's what I want to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think we'll be living in the same country?
I hope so. I don't know. I don't know how to make that all line up.
To be honest, like it's an interesting question, but like I really don't know. Our relationship has changed in the last 15 years since I was 17 and you were 15 years old.
How?
We used to need to tell each other every single thing that had happened to us that day. Like, we caught up on everything. We knew everything that was going on with each other and with each other's classmates and with each other's everything. I think that's maybe the biggest change. Like, we're a lot less so like that. We're a lot more independent from each other and have loads of things going on that the other doesn't know about. But I don't know, maybe that's the biggest change. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty surface level. Like, I feel like fundamentally our relationship hasn't changed. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect it to, really.
Yeah, I think so too. So maybe that's why I'm struggling to think how it would change in the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Okay, well. Okay, this one's interesting. Okay, here's the next one.
Okay. Yeah, the genuine next one. We didn't skip any of these.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think I want most from you that I'm not getting? That question goes both ways.
Ooh. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, that's really hard.
I think that you want, not that you need everyone around you to be this way, but you want like creative energy and enthusiasm. And maybe I don't give you a lot of that.
That's interesting. Maybe there's a little bit of truth in that at this time of my life. But so far, so good.
Okay.
You've been engaging with me on my creative endeavors.
Yeah, I'm here.
Giving what you can. Yeah. Okay, what do I think you want most from me that you're not getting? It may be like quality time, but I think we're kind of starting to get it now. But I think you want to feel close.
Yeah.
Because of through quality time.
Yeah.
And that's hard when we're in different places, and like I was super busy before and stuff.
So actually,
like
this podcast is fulfilling both of those things.
Solved our problems. Yes, it's solved all our problems. And all of yours too.
Aha.
Okay, should we do one more?
Sure.
Okay. When was the last time I misunderstood you and why? That's not focusing.
You have to do the thing.
Yeah.
When was the last time you misunderstood me? We don't really, I don't feel like we really face that problem. If ever you misunderstand me, because you're so good at communicating, it'll become clear that you've misunderstood me, and then we'll sort it out. It's never like an issue that you misunderstand me.
Yeah, I agree. I think we very, very rarely misunderstand one another. Like, you're one of the people on this earth that just like gets me best. And I think vice versa. I can think of one instance. I don't really want to talk about the subject of our conversation, but it was, post Christmas. We were debriefing on some Christmas things. And I think we got into a bit of a point where we were not understanding each other. But I think, as you say, we very quickly realized that, something's not lining up here, or she's not receiving this the way I intend. And so we very quickly figured it out.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're out of time for today. But I enjoyed that topic and that conversation. And I hope you did too, fellow listeners, fellow internet goers, 30-somethings.
Yes. Fellow 30-somethings. Hope you're inspired to do some spring cleaning in your life.
Yeah. Or maybe you've been doing some spring cleaning as you've been listening to this.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm just coming out of a long February mood, so I can't even imagine what spring is like. But I hope you're enjoying it.
I can, because spring is just about starting to happen here, so I'll project that energy into you. Okay, so I guess sayonara.
Sayonara, old friend.
Peace. Love you.
Love you. Bye.